Hi, my name is Josh Robinson. 2 years ago, I bought this old modern house and have been restoring it since then. Last night, I realized that I hadn't been documenting much of it at all. Tonight, I've decided to change that. This is the house. The community is called Sunset Lanes. So the last week, it's been a lot of finishing inside, getting ready for carpet in here, and then jumping outside to start doing windows and getting paint on the exterior of the house. Finished up all the polyurethane, 2 coats on everything, all the wood inside. That includes all the guts of all the cabinets. So everything now has top coat of polyurethane. And that's all the rooms, everything's finished. We're finally ready for carpet in here. Got all the light switch plate covers in. Dressed up some of the touch-ups and stuff on the paint. I know that I'll have to do some more touch-ups when I get the carpet in, but we're looking to get that installed here within the month. Other things up here, like finally getting a handrail on the stairs. You wouldn't think that that would make such a big difference, but it really does. And I think it dresses up the wall pretty nicely. We got the final coat of paint on the stringers. Treads are back installed, so those will be ready for carpet when we carpet down here. I'm not going to carpet these until I do that, just because I know I'm going to wear the carpet out as we're doing this space down here this winter. But this wall the whole way down is done. Hardware's back on the doors, switch plate covers and all that kind of thing. So this is all complete and ready to go. So now that all of that stuff's done, this is actually the color carpet that we're going to be installing. So this goes everywhere but in the entry and the kitchen, which we already have the white linoleum tile put in for there. But you can see it's a very close match to the same coloration as all of the wood. So, you know, it'll sort of be this nice quiet and grounding effect. And I think it's something that's probably an appropriate pile for the period. 1955, it's not real short, but it's not real long yet. Carpet isn't as popular as it was even just fairly recently. When you think about these houses in their context, in the middle 50s, that was really the first time that carpeting, wall-to-wall carpeting, would have been something that was within reach for normal people. Prior to that, carpeting was very expensive, but with the advent of nylon and synthetic materials, all of a sudden carpeting became rather attainable. And when you look at the advertisements for the houses, while they came with hardwood floors, the model homes were finished out with wall-to-wall carpeting. So it was certainly part of the idea, part of the concept. And if the floors were hardwood in here, they would be about this color. So we're back outside, and we've got 2 windows restored already, and this is one of them. So I was able to get color on this wall, and that's my plan of attack, is I'll restore the windows that are in one particular wall, get that wall completed, done, then I can get color on it, done. It breaks up the thing and the monotony of doing the jobs. and then gets me some instant gratification. What's kind of neat is that there's only 3 coats of paint on this house. So of course it was covered in steel siding about 1970. So there's only 3 coats of paint. There's the original color, which is this, and I had a big enough swatch of it that I was able to cut it out of the house, take it to Sherwin-Williams, and have this color replicated. It's a perfect match. It's a flat color, sort of this deserty sage turquoise, and of course this is the color that's inside. But we got this window done here, and basically the process of doing these windows is there's a vinyl replacement window that was slid in 2009 by a previous owner. And what they did was essentially just take the sash out. They removed the sash, slid this vinyl replacement job in, caulked and sealed up the edges. So the original windows are actually still in the house. Now in some places where there's mullions that divide up the bigger opening, those were cut out with a sawzall. Those we have to restore. That's a little bit more difficult. But then temporarily what I'm doing, since I don't have the sashes built yet, I'm just filling the operables, which this is one of them, with a piece of plywood. Now ultimately I'll make the sash, we'll get the sash back in there, but there's only 7 windows in the whole house that open. So that means that we can get the majority of the glass back in here and keep marching on. But that lets me continue restoring the envelope of the building. Really happy with this. And I estimate that it probably hasn't been this color since about 1962. Somewhere thereabouts. But I think the house is very happy to finally have this color back. So when we're talking about the windows, I think it's probably a good idea to show what it is they actually look like. This is a good shot taken around 1957 of Mr. Beesk's house. Now this shows what the typical bedroom window looks like, and it shows a fixed unit above an operable awning. Then next to that is just a big piece of glass on stops. That's most of the windows in the house. So this is what these units look like when they're restored. This is, I've got 3 already done. This is one of the upper fixed. And you can see, really just a piece of glass comes in here and sets against these stops. This particular one had a lot of damage to it. The sill was destroyed. The head was cut out when they put the vinyl replacement jobs in there. So essentially, it's pulling the unit out, rebuilding and recutting the top, just making the pieces that are gone, cutting the stops and things like that, cleaning up what's original and what's left, what we can use. And then ultimately, this will go back in the wall. We'll call the glass company to set fresh dual pane glass. Of course, originally, these were just single pane with a sort of an integral storm unit that clipped into these. You could actually get them included with the sash, so they weren't regular storm windows, which is kind of interesting. I think it's neat that these houses in 1955 really were well insulated for the time. Glass with storms, bad insulation in the walls, Celotex on the exterior. So that's sort of interesting to me. So these are the smaller units, and these will stack. So this one stacks above the operable here. And of course, there's also the larger fixed units here. So these are a little bit easier to build because they're larger, but it's all the same details and they just stretch up. So this one was the same thing, a fresh top, and one of the sides needed replaced as well. But you can see how the glass would just set in there, and this goes right back in the wall where it had been. Restoring these windows is a pretty neat experience, because really we're pulling the replacement windows out and restoring the actual original window. You don't get to do that a lot, but there's enough of them left that we're actually using the original windows themselves. Except we're upgrading to a better, more energy efficient glass this time, which I think will make a big difference. So, outside, all we've got to do now is finish sanding up the little bit of wood filler that we've got on the front elevation, and then we can get the primer out, prime up all the bare wood spots, the filler spots, let that set up, and then we can start spreading some color. Battling this yellow jacket all day. He keeps wanting to come up here to build a nest. He hasn't stung me yet. Yet.